Men are being arrested for playing video games.
Evidently, the FBI, you know those guys, the FBI, yeah, evidently they're cracking down on what you're talking about in your game chat whenever you're playing video games. Like Roblox, Fortnite, Call of Duty, yeah, they're peeping in and listening to what you're saying. So a lot of you guys are probably screwed.
Men are being arrested for playing video games. Why are men suddenly being arrested for gaming? And what does it mean for men playing games? Does it mean that gaming is no longer safe? Stick around to the end of the video to find out why men are being arrested for gaming and what men can do about it. Now let's just go ahead and jump right into the video.
FBI is cracking down on voice chat and gaming. They're already monitoring everything you're saying on things like Roblox, Discord, Reddit. Most of y'all probably didn't know this, but you can even get banned from Fortnite if you say the wrong thing while you're in party chat with your friends. Yeah, not even random strangers, y'all. Fortnite is tracking everything you're saying while you're talking with your friends on there. PlayStation and Xbox also do this. So I really want y'all to know anything you say while you're on voice chat on anything, even if it's something as simple as recording yourself on TikTok and posting it to your drafts. Those drafts are visible to certain employees, even if you don't post them, by the way. You gotta realize it's probably being tracked. If you take a video on your phone that you don't want anyone to see and you have something like iCloud backing it up, then they actually monitor not only what is in that video, they also can see everything you're saying, everything you're doing. And if you're doing something in those videos that you probably shouldn't be doing, then you can be flagged for it. Even if you don't post it, just if you take a video on your phone and it happens to get backed up, maybe you take the video and you forget iCloud backup is off. Well, too bad, it's being monitored.
Government report, the FBI will now be cracking down on gamers. So next time you're about to say something illegal in the chat, even if it's just a joke, know this. Looking at you, Call of Duty. The report reveals that as of right now, both the FBI and gaming companies already have ways of monitoring what they deem to be extremist behavior online. But what they don't have, according to the report, is a developed strategy for how they share this information with each other or what the consequences or goals
at the edge of a universe.
Bad news, but the federal government just said that they're going to be spying on you playing video games to combat extremism. It seems the FBI and the Department of Homeland Security are going to be partnering with gaming companies to fight extremist gamers. The Government Accountability Office
they did this after 9/11 too.
Says that the FBI and DHS should use the same strategy that allowed them to police extremism on social media to regulate the gaming industry. And the Anti-Defamation League, super reputable, says that 20% of adult gamers and 15% of kids playing games report being exposed to white supremacy while gaming. What constitutes extremism? You may ask. Racially or ethnically motivated violence, anti-government or
abortion, animal rights,
or environmental
what
extremism.
The fuck?
You're pro-life, apparently. And all other domestic terrorism threats, which the FBI has already said includes going to church on Sunday. This is super constitutional.
That's crazy. I wonder how true something like this is. I hear something crazy like that, and I always kind of have a little bit of this seems too extreme for me to just believe a TikTok about.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you've seen the evidence. They are literally cracking down on gamers. This is about control. It's about being able to monitor men in their homes. You have to think about this very carefully. Millions of men are leaving society each and every single day, okay? They say 7 million men, but it's actually over 30 million men are between the ages of 25 and 44. That's not even counting the Gen Zers that are not even bothering to enter into the workforce and staying home and just playing games, sleeping, farting, and, getting drunk, and then doing all again the next day. We're not even counting those guys, all right? They're counting the men who actually have value and produce, that are walking away from society, staying home and saying, you know what, we're done with Western society. It has nothing to offer for us. We're just going to stay home, play games, live our best lives, and avoid society as much as possible. So because they can no longer monitor men proactively outside, when they go to the gym, when they go to the store, when they're at work, because men are walking away from society in such unison, now they have to find other ways to monitor men. And what's one of the best ways to monitor men? Well, since men are not speaking to one another on the phone, the only other place to monitor guys is through voice chat, to see what they're saying over voice chat, and to record all of that and then use it to implicate them in something if they ever need to. That's the purpose of it. It's about control. It's about control and being able to enter the homes of these men. So to be able to say, oh, well, we have a record of this person saying something. It doesn't matter if it's valid or not. Oh, but they can use it against you if they ever want to go inside of your home and then search your devices and then take you out and bring you back into society. This is how they are operating, because men are walking away. Men are choosing not to have relationships. Men are not dating, and they are absolutely furious. The state is furious. The church is furious. All right. Don't forget that the church is just another form of the state. They're all angry because men are walking away and choosing to leave society and live their best lives. And how do they view it? They view it as stealing. You might be shocked. A lot of them view it absolutely as stealing. Oh, because men are not out there working long hours. Men are not out there giving their lives and their time and their energy. They're saying that, oh, you're stealing from society. You're stealing from us. When women do it, it's fine, because when women over the course of their lives will actually leave a deficit on the economy. Men over the course of their lives will leave a surplus on the economy, the average man versus the average woman. But since millions of men are now working fewer hours, dropping out of society, some taking disability, and others finding ways of not producing or supplementing the needs of society anymore, that's draining the funds. Right now, the United States cannot pay its debt. And with men refusing to work and fewer men in the economy, because men pay 80% of all taxes while women make 80% of all consumer purchases, this is only going to lead to a further deceleration of the economy and the United States sinking deeper into debt.
Have 7 million men ages 25 to 54 not working or looking for work. 7 million. You can't build a civilization, a culture, a nation, an economy on men who are not activated and working and producing. What it means is you have far more consumers than producers. And then you have a whole generation of young men that are going to vote to increase the taxes on men who are working, to reallocate wealth, which is stealing. And the result is, at some point, you run out of other people's money. That's why we now have record national debt. And now credit card debt in America has, for the first time, reached over $1 trillion. So men are not going to work or working. In addition, they are not generating income, but they're expecting the government to provide for them. And then they're taking out high interest rate credit cards to fund a lifestyle that they don't work for.
Now, think about this carefully. The shift is entirely always on men. Why aren't men working? Why aren't men producing? Here's the thing. Men built society. We would not have this amazing society that we live in. We would not have all the technical innovations that we have today if it wasn't for the deal that society made with men. Society said to men, listen, you give us your lives. You give us your productivity. You build our society into something great. You protect our society, and you will get the American dream. We will give you the house, the dog, the kids, the wife, the two-car garage. We'll give it all to you, all right? You will be respected. You will be honored just for being a man. And in return, you're going to fight for our society. You're going to build our society. You're going to give everything you can give in return for this glorious and wonderful country. And men did exactly that. But then, after 100 years of women's empowerment, women now stand above men. Women are more educated. Women hold all the positions, while saying that men are villains and they are powerful victims. So men are done. Men have been pushed out of society. So what are they doing? They're walking away. And the average man doesn't need much to survive. The average man can live happily in a shoebox at the side of the road. The truth is that these men aren't stealing. Some men are on disability, but the typical man is living off his own earnings. He's day trading. He's working just enough to survive and thrive, and that's just it. Because men are minimalist by nature. The average man is a minimalist by nature. The average man does not need a lot to survive. Your PlayStation 5, that's a one-time purchase, and a lot of guys are happy with PlayStation 2. A lot of guys are happy with PlayStation 2. I've been looking at the modding community, and I'm shocked at what PlayStation 2 looks like right now. You can take out the old hard drive in the PlayStation 2 and put in an SSD and load tons of games onto the SSD, like 100 games. You can get a 1 terabyte SSD, stick that into your PlayStation 2, load 100 games on there or more, 1 terabyte, and the games now run super flawlessly. There's essentially no load time. There are no moving parts in the SSD, solid state drive. So the games are now instant. They now load instantly or almost instantly. They run perfectly. And you have an entire back catalog of all the greatest hits to go back and play that you missed with all of these upgrades. Think about that very, very carefully. They have a wireless option now where you can stick a stick into the memory card slot or right into the controller slot. And now you can use your PlayStation 3 controller or PlayStation 4 controller or PlayStation 5 controller on your PlayStation 2. And it works flawlessly, wireless. And guess what? You can play all of your games just like you'd play on any modern console. Some of these games will run better than they run on modern consoles. And you don't have to worry about anyone being able to monitor you. Okay? Because you're not playing online. And it's amazing. This is the reality we now live in. Men are walking away. The more you take away, the more men walk away. It's the fall of the Roman Empire. How did the fall of the Roman Empire go about? All right, you had a prosperous empire where the average Roman citizen didn't have to work. And they said, oh, wow, here's a great idea. Let's bring about no-fault divorce. And women began rapidly divorcing their husbands, running off and marrying gladiators. So men began walking away from society. And men were called, unmarried men, single men were called worse than all of the criminals in all of the Roman Empire, because these men said, you know what, we're done. You broke the social promise. So we're not going to, if it's not for love of family or love of country, then we have no dog in the fight. So we're not going to protect the society anymore. We're not going to work for anything anymore. We're going to walk away because we're demonized everywhere we go. And single men were banned from going to the Colosseum. They were banned from going to the theater. They were banned from all public events. So basically, no wrestling matches for you. No video games for you. No theater, no television for you. No movies for you. And during the wintertime, single men had to run in the streets behind one another, chain gang style, in the cold to punish them, and they still wouldn't marry. Fast forward 100 years, and the Roman Empire no longer has a military, and they're using mercenaries to protect the entire empire. The mercenaries realize that the emperor has no clothes, meaning no money and no military, when they start offering the mercenaries land to pay them instead of gold and silver and resources. They realize they're broke and they have no men to protect the empire. So the mercenaries pillage the entire empire. We are plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. Imagine it being like eating squirrel meat and living in caves again. There are a lot of people who try to say that the Dark Ages were not all that dark. Bro, there was a little thing called the bubonic you-know-what during the Dark Ages. It almost took out most of humanity. All right? It was an extremely horrible event. And there were a number of other truly horrific things that happened during that period of time. In fact, it affected us all the way into the modern day era. All of that stuff that happened in Salem with the trials, that is something that was left over from that 1,000 years of darkness, where you had people that were being told that all of this bad stuff is happening, and beliefs in witchcraft and all that all came from that 1,000 years of darkness. It was truly a very dark period of time. All right, we never fully recovered from that. So much knowledge and technology was lost that it's ridiculous. The Roman Empire actually had machines. They had computers back then, mechanical computers. There's some people in the comments who are like, listen, bro, it was more like a calculator. It's nothing special. Bro, that was over 1,000 years ago. Think about that carefully. They had this technology over 1,000 years ago. Where do you think we would be today had we not lost this technology? And they did have chemistry back then. All right? There are things that we cannot even replicate. That's the reality. That's the very, very sad reality that we live in. And it's not going to get better anytime soon. In fact, it's not a game. It's not a game. Society does not like us. And this is why this is happening. And there you have your answer. Men are being arrested for video games because the government wants to surveil men at home. It's not so much about men committing crimes and more about monitoring men. And if this will of course only lead to more men playing games offline, pirating games, and going back to older consoles like PlayStation 2 and even the Atari. This is yet just another attempt to punish men for existing because society does not like men. And by the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, consider subscribing to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? Men are being arrested for gaming. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.